Hello, and welcome to Ice is Slippery, an unserious podcast about hockey brought to you by 1.5 hockey fans. My name is Kate, and I'm the hockey fan.
And my name is Fred. I'm half a hockey fan.
Good afternoon, Fred. How are you?
Good afternoon, right?
Yeah, we're recording this a little later than usual. Yesterday was a busy day.
Busy day. So yeah, this is the afternoon. Things are good.
Good. I didn't ask this time, but I'm glad they're good.
Yeah, I don't know. Things are okay. I'm at that point in the hockey season where I'm just starting to grind on me.
Yes. Honestly, I probably could have just done the podcast myself this week because I'm even more of a hockey fan than usual.
Yeah.
I'm probably a hockey fan and a half this week, all on my own.
Yeah, for sure. I watched and followed along for like the first half of the week, I feel like, and then I don't know.
You kind of tapped out.
I kind of tapped out. It's kind of a lot. They just keep having games.
That is a thing that they do during hockey season, is they play hockey games and then they play more hockey games and then they continue to play hockey games.
Right.
As a whole entire hockey fan, plus I enjoy that. But as only half a hockey fan, I could see how that would be a little exhausting for you.
Yeah, no, I feel like this is the point of the season where I start to understand the playoff-only watchers.
I guess that's valid, yeah.
Because, it's relentless.
It is a little relentless.
But anyway.
I happen to enjoy relentless.
I know.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have married you.
All right. Yeah, I'm good to go.
Well, yesterday the Stars played the Avalanche in Denver, and there's a pretty cool guy who lives in my house who bought me a ticket for Christmas. So I got to go to that. And that's why I'm extra hockey this week.
Extra hockey.
Yeah. The Stars didn't win, but I had an awesome time, and I will get more into the details a little later. Mm-hmm. But for now, I think we can get into some general news from around the NHL.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, my first order of business is that the girls are fighting.
The girls are fighting? Which girls?
The hockey girls, by which I mean...
all of them?
Just hockey. It's there's conflict, basically, is what I'm saying.
Sure.
It's been a contentious week in the NHL, both on and off the ice. To start, there was an uproar in the field of hockey content creation when several popular YouTube channels, including two of our personal favorites, Next Man Up and Hockey Psychology, were hit with copyright claims from the NHL. Multiple creators had full videos blocked, and other videos that were not blocked saw any monetization being redirected back to the NHL, according to reports. After a few days of uproar, it seems that the NHL declared that this was a quote-unquote setting error, and while it didn't happen immediately, it seemed like all of the content has been restored.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of further proof that the NHL really likes to shoot themselves in the foot when it comes to marketing. Like, these are people who are growing the game.
They are literally doing that.
They're literally doing that.
Their success translates to the NHL's success.
It 100% does. I have sent new hockey people over there, people who are like, I want to understand hockey better. I'm like, go watch these channels.
Right. Now, do they bring 100,000 people to the sport? Probably not.
Probably not.
But it's still fine.
Yeah. And I think it keeps people invested. Certainly. I think it's probably helped you become a little more invested.
It's critical for my understanding of this game.
Yeah. You can't just rely on me.
No.
I have really bad ADHD. I get distracted in the middle of sentences. You can't just rely on me to keep you up to speed.
No, absolutely. And I can't just watch a game and understand the entire context of that game, because I have to rely on like the color commentators who are not giving me what Hockey Psychology or Next Man Up or Jonathan Hockey or any of the other ones that we don't watch.
Mm-hmm. Or Eck or anybody else.
Yeah. So
and I understand that the NHL is like, oh, they're using our clips, so therefore we should make the money on it. But it's a fair use issue. They are using the clips to illustrate points that they're making. They're putting work in. They're doing all of this work that, I mean, the NHL should be paying people to do this stuff to make the game more accessible. They're not. So, like, these people should just do the work and get paid. And, like, it's not costing the NHL anything. But for the NHL to be like, no, you can't do this. And if you do, we should make the money is stupid. And I don't care what they say if it was some sort of error. I don't think it was an error.
No.
I think somebody in some business office made a really bad call and it looked really bad. And then they had to walk it back.
This happens constantly on YouTube with content creation. You know my stance on it. All these businesses and corporations can go fuck themselves. But I understand at the end of the day, it's a losing legal battle. it's nice that they didn't double down on it, because at the end of the day, they could shut everybody down. YouTube is an absolute waste when it comes to copy. They're like, oh, copyright? Never mind, not us. Shut it down. So
I think it's because you and I are so old and we remember like the early days of the internet.
yeah,
And so we've seen how much it's changed.
it
Like,
has. Yeah.
we were around before YouTube was born.
Right.
We were around before the internet was like a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I got AOL when I was 14 and it was still brand new and it was real exciting.
Yeah.
So that's how old we are. We're pretty old.
Yeah, we just live in the age where they've done a capitalism to the internet, and, you know,
They did a heckin' capitalism.
they did. And I just wish they would stop and leave us alone.
I know, it's just trying to wring money from a stone at this point. It's like, just let us enjoy things. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But, you know, I hope nothing else comes of it. But at the end of the day, they can shut it down if they want to, because they're the big name. And I don't know. It just makes me sad.
It does.
But also, like, for content creators using other people's content to make their content, like, that's a risk. You know, you build your business on someone else's land, it's going to be a problem. It's proven to be a problem over the last 5 to 7 years of content creation. It's not a new story. So
I do understand that. I just think that like the NHL is not doing what these content creators are doing. Like
True.
Once a month, they drop a weird NHL compilation, or again, it's just clips. They're not really giving any sort of context for things.
Right.
Or they do the YouTube shorts, but they're not giving that commentary that's tying it all together. They're not contextualizing things.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they're really just not offering what the YouTube content creators are offering.
no, they're literally just out there ripping off broadcast clips and stringing them together, which is not what these hockey content creators are doing.
Yeah, they're putting actual effort into it. Well, in other off-ice conflicts, Montreal Canadiens rookie Emil Heineman took a hard hit off the ice on Monday. He was walking near the team's hotel in Salt Lake City after practice and was hit by a car.
I did not know this.
I didn't figure you probably did. You
Yep.
don't usually keep in the loop with the stuff like this. He's mostly okay. According to a reporter, the driver was a city employee who went across a few lanes to turn right instead of turning from the closest lane.
Oh, boy.
From what I understand from Utahns that I've seen online, that's pretty standard for Salt Lake City drivers. Heineman and the driver just exchanged information, went their separate ways. But after Heineman was checked out by team doctors, it was found he had an upper body injury and will be out for 3 to 4 weeks.
Wow.
Rumor has it that there's maybe a broken wrist or a fractured wrist or something, but you know, that's rumors. Apparently he did text his teammates on the group chat after it happened, was like, I've got a funny story for you guys. And they were like,
His funny story is getting hit by a car.
yeah, which classic. That's like me telling the story about how like my dad got drunk and like left me and a bunch of kids like on an island in the middle of the night in the West Indies.
Right.
And I'm like, it was a hilarious story. My therapist is like, no, it's not. But yeah, Coach Martin Saint-Louis said that Emil plays a hard-hitting game, so it's really bizarre that he would get injured walking down the street. But he did joke that Emil's doing well, but the car was totaled. So
that's pretty funny.
Finding the humor in it.
Yeah. And I mean, he got hit by a city worker, so he'll get some nice, he can sue them probably, right?
It doesn't seem like he's that interested.
Probably not.
From what it sounds like, a passerby called it into the police. The police showed up and he had taken off back for the hotel. The driver was gone. The police went around to different businesses and found some video and managed to, I think somebody recognized like, hey, doesn't that guy play for Montreal? And I went to the team hotel and the team was like, oh yeah, that's one of our guys. The team doctors are looking at him.
Wow.
So, but then a police report ended up getting filed. So lots of shenanigans.
Yeah.
But I mean, I see it. He's not American. He's like 23. He's a rookie. He's just like, okay, I got hit by a car, but like I can walk. So bye.
Yeah.
I guess.
All right.
Yeah, sure. I'll take your phone number. Here's mine. See you later.
Interesting.
Hockey players are built different, and that's that. There has also been a lot of ongoing talk about the conflict in the Vancouver Canucks locker room.
Yeah.
It's been an ongoing storyline.
Man, I'm still bored. I'm still bored by that.
It's pretty boring.
Yeah.
For something that's supposedly so exciting and is getting so much coverage, nobody's like confirmed anything. Nobody's denied anything. It certainly seems that something's going on though, because JT Miller has no move clause, but there are pretty intensive trade rumors going on right now to the point where teams are actively talking to JT Miller. It's out there. JT Miller's agent came out and said, JT Miller didn't ask Canucks if he could move somewhere, just, I guess, to get it out there that he's not the one initiating this, but he didn't shut down that it was happening. So I guess JT Miller is entertaining these notions.
Okay.
It has been brought up that, Pettersson, who's sort of, I guess, the other half of this alleged conflict, wants to stay where he is, and that Vancouver is not allowing people to talk to him right now. But Vancouver did have to put out a statement that says, hey, unless we're one of the teams that we approved, you cannot talk to JT Miller. That's tampering.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big thing. So it looked really close, I think, last night that the Canucks and the Rangers were going to do a trade, and Miller almost didn't play last night as a result. But then I guess things fell through, so he did play.
Okay.
But there are still a few other teams in the mix. There's talk about the Devils, and then insiders are saying Dallas is in the mix too.
Wow.
So there you have it.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't really know enough to know how I feel about that. My initial instinct is like, no thanks. Like, it just feels like a lot of drama. It feels like maybe he's kind of the source of it from my understanding of things. And we're kind of a drama-free dressing room. But then again, maybe we need some drama. I don't know. We could handle some excitement.
It might help some things, but I don't know. This just doesn't feel like anything. And I guess if you're a reporter or a hockey media, you just take what you get. And they're running with this one, and I'm just like, snooze.
Super valid, honestly. I don't think we even really talked about it that much before because there just wasn't anything to talk about.
Yeah.
Now I'm really only talking about it because it was last night and because I had this whole conflict section and it felt like it fit in there.
It is part of one of the conflicts. Yeah,
it is. So moving over to an incident that was in an arena but not on the ice, a Penguins fan was booed loudly and escorted out of the building after essentially stealing a puck from a kid. Have you heard about that one?
No.
Yeah. See?
Oh, the fan was booed.
The fan was booed.
Yeah. Nice.
Yes. So this was last Sunday. The Lightning came to Pittsburgh to play the Penguins. And during the second period, a puck went up into the netting, and a kid who, from what I saw in the video, couldn't have been older than 12, saw it and shook the glass to knock the puck down. The puck fell, and it fell near or even maybe on the older guy who probably looks to be in his at least 60s, maybe 70s.
Okay.
Instead of being like, hey, that kid saw the puck and did the work to shake it down, he should have it. He was like, no, this is my puck now. He did, I guess, give it to his granddaughter who looked like an adult or maybe a much older teenager.
Right.
But, it being Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, he got booed rather loudly by the whole section who saw all of this go down because it was pretty close to the front. He didn't like that. He was getting back into it, back and forth with a couple of fans. Where they were sitting, some of the Penguins' wives and girlfriends saw all of this go down. So one of the wives of the Penguins players went and got a puck, and one of the ushers brought her over to the kid so she could give the kid a puck. And then everyone in the section cheered really loudly because it was really nice. And the old guy did not like that because I don't know why. I guess he just doesn't want anybody to be happy.
Apparently.
Or he was just embarrassed. I don't get what it was. But then he went over to the mom and the son and started like yelling at them.
Oh, boy.
And was getting in the mom's face. And then the mom raised her arm like she was going to hit him. And some other fan got in the middle to sort of stand in front of the mom. So, the old guy wouldn't be in her face anymore. And then he got escorted out of the arena.
Good.
To loud cheers.
Love that.
Yes, absolutely.
Get rid of that guy.
Honestly, so stupid.
Yeah, good.
I was at a game yesterday and somebody caught a puck, went over the ice. A lady probably around my age. She immediately turned around and looked for a kid to give it to, and she gave it to a kid.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what you should do.
That's just normal stuff.
It's just a friggin' puck.
It's just a puck. I like pucks. I would like a puck, but if I had a puck and there was a kid next to me, I'd give the puck to the kid.
Yeah.
It'd be neat.
Would you do it if it was a playoff puck?
Yeah.
Would you do it if it was a Stanley Cup puck? Haha.
I mean,
no, I would.
I want to say I probably would.
I think we would.
Yeah,
That's just who we are.
Yeah, I mean, what? I'm gonna sell it on eBay instead? Like, I don't. That just doesn't. It's not really our vibe. I guess. I just want people to be happy.
That's all we want.
All I want.
That's all we want.
And that guy did not want people to be happy. And then, of course, since it's hockey, there's drama on the ice, too. On Tuesday, the Panthers played the Devils, and the teams have some bad blood going back to 2022 when Captain Nico Hischier hit Sasha Barkov in the knee during a face-off, and that took him out for 3 games. Barkov has said that he doesn't think it was intentional and that Nico isn't a dirty player. But Matthew Tkachuk holds a grudge. He did fight Hischier the next game, and then they've had some run-ins over the last couple of years. So this game, Tkachuk just went flying into Hischier and hit him into the boards pretty hard.
Okay.
And Jonas Siegenthaler went in to defend him, and then Hischier got in on it. So Siegenthaler had him in a headlock, and Hischier sitting him from the ground, and then all the players from the other team swarmed. And then there, right in the middle of it, is Matthew Tkachuk, sort of in a chokehold with his mouth guard hanging out of his mouth.
Oh, I saw that. You showed me this.
I showed you that. There was a still image going around for it that everybody agreed was very sort of accidental renaissance.
Right.
And there's a great Instagram page called Art But Make It Sports, and they found a picture from the 17th century called Quarrel Over a Lost Game by Gillis van Tilburg the Younger.
Yes.
That looked uncannily like it. Really.
It did, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they posted that, and even the Florida Panthers page commented on the Instagram post, "This is gold," and shared it on their socials. So I really love how the Panthers just embrace how chaotic Matthew Tkachuk is.
Yeah, they're signed on for that.
Oh, yeah. No, they 100% back it, and it's great. Speaking of revenge tours, last night the Minnesota Wild played the Nashville Predators for the first time since New Year's Eve when Predators rookie Zachary Leroux slew-footed Jared Spurgeon. Spurgeon left the game and hasn't played since. The Wild were pretty clear ahead of the game last night that there were going to be retribution.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were like, things might happen.
They were dropping hints.
Yeah, he should watch out. He should be ready. So there were 3 fights in the first 7 minutes of the game, starting off with somebody picking a fight with Leroux, the rookie. Ultimately, though, the Predators had the last laugh and they won 6-2.
Wow.
Yeah. Spurgeon is not the only Wild player who is out with an injury, though. On Wednesday, the Wild played the Oilers, and Connor McDavid elbowed Wild forward Marcus Johansson in the face.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of chatter about that one.
A lot of chatter. From the first angle that they showed on TV, it didn't really look like a super hard hit, but Johansson was bleeding and left the ice, and he's now out on IR with a concussion. So
right.
It was clearly pretty bad, but no penalty in the moment and no supplemental discipline afterwards, which people are really irate about. They're like, it's because it's Connor McDavid and he's the star, and NHL will never punish their star players for doing bad stuff.
Right.
Which, there might be some validity to it. I don't know. It did look kind of purposeful to me.
I haven't actually seen that one, but a lot of people can't imagine why it wasn't called or dealt with after the fact.
I would call it subtle but intentional looking to my eye.
Yeah.
But again, that's just to my eye. Who knows? I don't know anything. McDavid continued his goon era last night when the Oilers played the Canucks. So McDavid and Vancouver forward Connor Garland had basically been in like a wrestling match sort of near the end of the game trying to get to a puck. At one point, Connor Garland's down on the ice on his stomach and McDavid's on top of him and trying to get up, and Garland's like trapping his leg between his legs. I mean, it was gnarly. Like, I don't know why the refs had not called it before that. But finally they get back to their feet, and Connor McDavid was clearly frustrated, and he cross-checked Connor Garland in the face.
Yeah.
Which is not cool.
No.
So then everybody started fighting, and then a different Vancouver player, Tyler Myers, cross-checked Evan Boucher in the face.
Mm-hmm.
So now Tyler Myers and Connor McDavid both have been kicked out of the game. They both got major penalties and were kicked out of the game for the rest of the game. And now they both have hearings. So,
all right. Well, he's got a hearing. That's the thing.
He does have a hearing. So I don't know. Maybe there will be a suspension. But people are still pretty irate about the Johansson one and the fact that it's now two games in a week where he hit somebody in the face, and they're not super impressed by that.
No, I'm not impressed by that.
No, that don't impress you much.
It don't.
It don't. But there was also lots of good stuff that went on. It's not all conflict. First, somebody showed up to the Canucks-Oilers game last night dressed like a bottle of ketchup because McDavid is afraid of ketchup.
You sent me that picture, showed me. Yeah,
I showed you last night. It was hilarious. And in Montreal last night, Austin Matthews scored the first shorthanded goal of his career, which was kind of cool. Kind
of blows my mind that he's never done that before.
Yeah, I guess that's just not a thing. I did watch the clip of it this morning, and I guess it was like a 4-on-4, and it was right after the 4-on-4 expired. So it was kind of a technical shorthanded goal.
Yeah.
But I mean, technical counts.
It does.
There you go.
Yep.
Alex Ovechkin continues being Alex Ovechkin. He scored another goal this week, so he's only 21 away from Gretzky's record. And he scored that goal on Levi Marilainen from the Ottawa Senators, who he hadn't scored on before. So Marylainen was the 179th goaltender he has scored on. And so he now holds the records for most goalies scored on.
Wow.
Before that, he was tied with Jaromir Jagr. So, yes, nobody has scored on more goalies than
Wow.
Alex Ovechkin.
Good for him. Yeah, no, he's a train and he's got a destination.
Yeah. He's built up a head of steam and he's coming down the tracks.
Yeah. Well, good for him.
You kind of got into hockey at a nice, auspicious time in history, I guess.
Because of all the history happening?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, they were hyping that up in like the NHL commercial last year.
Yeah,
they're like, history's now. And I was...
The new golden era is now.
Right, exactly. And they're not wrong.
No, they're not. But I mean, history is kind of always happening if you think about it that way.
Wow.
I know, I'm really deep. And then finally, on Friday night, Penguins goalie Alex Nedeljkovic scored a goalie goal. It was his first one in the NHL, but he had 2 in the AHL and 1 in the ECHL. So he now holds the record for most goalie goals scored in professional leagues. And he also had an assist in the game, making him the only goalie in NHL history to have both a goal and an assist in a game.
Yeah, look at that guy.
Yeah, no, it's pretty great. And I mean, the Penguins' goaltending issues have been a thing, you know.
Right,
Jarry. Yeah, Tristan Jarry, their sort of main goaltender, had been put on waivers earlier in the week. Nobody picked him up, so he sent back down to the minors, basically. And, you know, Nedeljkovic kind of has had to step up and be their guy. It's funny, though, because Tristan Jarry actually has had a goalie goal in the past. So if he hadn't been sent down, they'd be the only goaltending tandem to have goalie goals. Also, Tristan Jarry has had a goal in the NHL and AHL. So it's just him and Nedeljkovic and then one other guy who have goals in both of those places.
Well, that is pretty wild. And that was on the game, like, after he got booted, basically, right? Like, he wasn't in that game, Jarry.
Right. Yeah, no, he was gone already.
He was gone, and then
he'd already gone, I think, been sent, had maybe even passed through waivers at that point.
Right. And then Ned's over here scoring goals.
Right? Yeah. It's got to be a little rough for that guy.
I know. I will say I do like Ned. I've seen at least 2 or 3 post-game interviews with him, and he is kind of unvarnished and pretty honest, which is kind of a nice change, I think. So, yeah, he seems like a cool guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely appreciate that. All right. Well, let's move on to the Flyers, shall we?
Let's do it.
So Monday, the Flyers played the Panthers. I always enjoy watching both the Flyers and the Panthers because they play really sort of exciting, energizing hockey. It always kind of has the potential to be fun and sexy hockey whenever they play.
Right.
So them playing each other, it's like extra fun for me.
Right.
We actually got to watch the whole game live because there was no Stars game. So
we did watch that whole one.
I know. So that was kind of a nice treat for us. And it was a good game to watch. The first period started out a little rough for the Flyers, who went down 2-0. But they came out really strong in the second period, and Garnet Hathaway got them on the board. In the third period, Noah Cates tied the game with a great rebound. The Panthers went on the power play and scored, but then the Flyers went on the power play and scored. And that tying goal came from Morgan Frost off of a really great setup from Jamie Drysdale, where he did this lateral skating that was like super powerful. And
yeah,
that kid can skate like crazy. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah. Was that was when he was,
Yeah, just casually skating sideways, but powerfully across the ice.
Yeah.
And just like opening up passing lanes.
Yep. No, that was a good looking play.
That was fun and sexy hockey.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Absolutely. Yep.
See, you're starting to get it. And then finally, with just under 6 minutes to go, Noah Cates scored the game winner. And that was also fun and sexy hockey. So Sam Ersson made a save and the puck kind of got sent out to the neutral zone. And Cates skated his ass off to get to it, kind of pushed it out with his stick and then swatted it forward with his hand to keep it from going offside. So he kind of chipped it to himself and then got to it and then went forehand, backhand and scored on Bobrovsky.
Oh, wow. That feels like it was forever ago. I remember that.
I know, right? I mean, it was on Monday, so I guess it was kind of forever ago. That's almost a week.
Yeah, that was super impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a crazy, crazy highlight reel goal forever.
Yeah. This is the year of Cates.
It really is. No, Garnet Hathaway gave a post-game interview where he was like, I could stand here all night and talk about Noah Cates. It was very sweet. I actually clipped that part of the interview and put it up on our social media if anyone wants to check it out. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Cates has really come into his own this year. I think the coaching staff has kind of encouraged him to
take risks
and do more stuff. And he's been crushing it. He looks great.
Yeah. Their line is dominant and Torts doesn't want to break it up.
Exactly. Yeah. He said he was considering maybe breaking it up to try to spread the wealth out. And then he was like, actually, no, it works so well. I'm not going to touch it.
No, they're really relying on them to score goals.
Well, mission accomplished because they're doing great. The Flyers did win 4-3 over the Panthers. And the game ended with some pushing and shoving with everybody, including TK and Matty Tkachuk, because they love me and they want me to be happy.
Yeah.
So,
of course.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Good effort. Tuesday, the Flyers played the Blue Jackets. That one was on against a Stars game, so we didn't get to see much of it. From the highlights, Bobby Brink got a goal off of a no-look pass from Sealer, and Tippett scored one off the rush off of an assist from Frost. Fedotov was in goal, and he actually did great. He had a 92.8% save percentage.
Yeah.
So good for him. He's like stepping it up.
Yep. Torts is moderately happy with Feds right now.
Well, good. Good for him. I'm really happy for him. Ultimately, the Flyers did lose, but they went to a shootout, so they got an extra point.
Yeah.
So I'll take that,
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a tight game, 3-2. So.
And the Blues have been looking pretty good ever since Jim went over there, right?
Well, this is the Blue Jacket.
Oh, no. Now I sound dumb again. I'm going to have to cut this out.
No, you have to leave it in. That's the rule. You have to sound dumb so I can sound smarter. That's the rule.
Fair enough. All right, continue.
All right. Well, Thursday, the Flyers played the Islanders. And that game started before the Stars game, so we watched a little bit of it. And you could tell right away it's going to be pretty exciting. Maxim Sipilkov crashed the net and nearly took out Sam Urson.
Yep, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty awkward. I think the only reason the Flyers didn't murder him right then and there was because he clearly hurt himself the worst.
He did, yeah. And there was maybe a little push on him, possibly.
Yeah, arguably it was maybe not entirely his fault, although he was being pretty reckless.
Yep.
But later in the first period, Sipilkov delivered a high hit on Ryan Poehling that left him very visibly discombobulated. And the refs didn't even blow the whistle at first until Poehling was just face down on the ice, not moving. And then they were like, oh, I guess something happened because refs be reffin, I guess.
Refs out there be reffin.
Refs out there be reffin. So they had to blow the whistle because he was all just down on the ice and the trainer had to come out. And he, just was out to lunch. He looked kind of like how Pavelski looked when Pavs got hit a couple years ago during the playoffs. Where
it wasn't quite as bad.
Not quite that bad, but certainly on its way there.
It was reminiscent.
It was like around the corner from that.
It was certainly around the corner. Yeah, that Pavelski hit, I thought he was going to be a potato for the rest of his life when he was going off the ice.
No, that one was like, it still makes me kind of sick thinking about it.
Yeah.
We're so fortunate that he came back, at all.
Yeah.
No, Poehling, though, was very, he needed help getting off the ice. He had TK, and I think it was Garnet Hathaway on the other side, with his arm over their shoulders, and they were skating him very gingerly off the ice.
Yeah, he got wrecked.
He was very Looney Tunes, birds floating around the head kind of thing. So even though the refs hadn't called a penalty because they didn't see it at first, I guess they did decide they could call a 5-minute right then so they could review the hit that I guess they didn't see.
You can do that, right? Just be like, oh, no. Oh, yeah, penalty.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, well, I guess that doesn't seem right, but I guess that's good because that does definitely deserve a penalty. Mm-hmm. And as we watched the replay, it became pretty clear it was a pretty solid hit to the head.
Yep.
So they reviewed it, and then they, in their infinite wisdom, decided, actually, it was fine. Not a penalty.
Not a penalty.
Not a penalty. Let's keep going.
Not even a penalty.
No, not a penalty at all. Not even a 2-minute.
Nope.
Not even a 2-minute.
Nope.
Nothing. Not charging.
And everyone rejoiced. Nope.
No.
No. Everyone.
The opposite of that.
Everyone was angry.
Even Islanders fans were like, that's fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some were like, no, that was a good hit. The Flyers are soft. But there were plenty of Islanders fans who were like, I don't know how that call happened because that was clearly a hit to the head.
Clearly.
The Department of Player Safety happened to agree, actually. They called a hearing for Sipilkov, and he has been suspended for 3 games now.
Yeah, good.
Coincidentally, is just long enough that he won't have to play against the Flyers the next time they play.
It's a smart move on player safety. They're keeping that guy safe.
They could have probably just gone for a 2-game suspension, and I think they threw that 3rd game in there just to save his life.
Yep.
So... because we all know TK will fuck you up.
Yeah, yeah. And Torts was asked about that either after that game or the next day or whatever. And they were mentioning how they came out kind of hungry and aggressive in the second period. And they were asking Torts if that was the message. And he's like, no, we don't talk like that. He's like, all I said was, we got to take care of pails.
Yeah.
And that was enough information for everybody.
Exactly. It's like, I didn't say specifically to murder them,
Right.
but I was like, hey, avenge your fallen brother, but like not in those words.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Well, the Flyers did get their revenge on the scoreboard. There were goals from Sean Couturier, Noah Cates once again,
Yep.
Morgan Frost, and Cam York. And then Garnet Hathaway threw in a shorty just for the hell of it. The Islanders tried to get back into it, but the final score was 5-3 in favor of the Flyers, and it was a really dominating performance. They looked great.
They eventually looked great.
Well, yeah, once they had the motivation, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say the Islanders' defense seemed to really stifle them.
At first, but kind of once they figured out how to crack it,
Yeah.
it was all over from there. And then the Flyers played yesterday. They played the Devils. We could not watch that game yesterday because we were on our way to Denver.
True.
Now, you didn't go to the game with me.
I did not.
No, but you had to drive me to Denver because it was snowing and I am from Florida.
We picked the literal worst day.
The worst day of the year.
Yeah, the coldest first snow of the year, dangerous conditions out there. Let's go to Denver.
So you couldn't even stay home and watch the Flyers. You had to be my chauffeur.
Yep.
But the game went really well. The Flyers won 3-1. I do know that the Devils had a couple of turnovers and the Flyers were able to capitalize off of it. And the Flyers are now on a 5-game point streak, and they are only 1 point out of a playoff position.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. The what they call a heater, I believe.
Yes. Which, considering right now it's 14 degrees here, a heater sounds great.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of blown away by them. I guess it's the Ducks game that really just turned things around for them and just got them all vibing together.
No, I think the Ducks game definitely seemed to give them fire.
Right.
I think, I listened to another great sports podcast, hockey podcast, You Can't Do That. And they were saying what Philly just needs is they need an enemy. Mm-hmm. And they found one in Cutter Gauthier that game. And it seems like the spite is still fueling them because they're looking fantastic.
Right. And the games that they won this week, when we tuned into the Panthers, I was like, well, they're going to lose this, but this will be fun to watch, since you're a giant Panthers fan and I'm a Flyers fan.
I'm also a Flyers fan. I also like the Flyers a lot. I probably like the Flyers better than the Panthers.
True. But yeah, I was not expecting them to win. I don't think I was expecting them to
even be that competitive necessarily.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And here they are. And the Devils, I did not think they beat them.
Yeah.
So.
No, they're looking really good. So, and it's kind of like last year, they started out really strong and surprised everyone. This year, a month ago, nobody would have predicted they would have been, a spot outside of the playoffs.
Right.
Everyone would have thought they would have been like down at the bottom with like the Ducks and, the Sharks and whoever else is down there. But they're kind of getting their way back into it. So maybe it's like a little better. They're kind of finding their momentum a little bit later, which might be better for them.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Anything can happen. It's still only halfway through the season. Sorry to tell you.
Oh, God. Oh.
Well, now we can go ahead and move on to the Dallas Stars.
All right.
So Sunday, the Stars played the Ottawa Senators. They're still on their road trip. Mm-hmm. Jake Ottinger had the night off, so our backup goalie was in net. Yesterday, you referred to him as Nottinger, and that is brilliant. So from now on, our backup goalie is Nottinger.
Yeah, well, you won't call him by his name. You just say the backup goalie.
Yeah.
So Nottinger is kind of great.
Yeah, we got Ottinger and we got Nottinger, and that's all we need to know. So Dallas got on the board off of a nice goal from Robo, and I'll give credit to him where it's due. He has been looking a lot better lately. He's been heating up. I don't know if it's just that he finally is sort of caught up after having that off-season surgery and not being able to train or what's going on, but he's definitely been improving and has been scoring pretty consistently now.
He is not looking bad, and I cannot complain about him, unfortunately. I would love to, but he's been doing great.
You just don't like him, and that's okay. Not everybody has to like everybody.
Yeah. He had a goal in one of these games this past week where I was going to say, well, that I could have scored that goal. He just skated up and the puck was there and it was right by the net. It wasn't that impressive of a goal, but I'm just like, yeah, I know being in the right place to put a puck in the net is part of the skill.
It's true.
So he's doing great and I can't fault him.
Yeah. Well, Rope Hintz did score a power play goal, but it called back for being offside because we're cursed and we can't have nice things, especially when the power play is happening.
Yep.
But Dodonov did score a power play goal later on. Unfortunately, we were not able to get ourselves fully into the game, and the Sens won 3-2.
Yeah.
Tuesday, we played the Maple Leafs, and that was probably our strongest game of the week.
Okay.
It didn't get off to the best start. Austin Matthews opened the scoring on what I think was the first shot of the game.
Probably. That sounds about right.
Yeah. Dallas didn't even get a shot on goal until about 9 minutes into the game. That's how rough it was.
Yeah, that is rough.
It's not great. But it was worth the wait because who scored the first goal? Logan Stankoven.
My God, the drought is over.
The drought is over. He had a 25-game goal drought.
Yeah.
He said it's the longest of his career, since he's been like a tiny child playing hockey.
Right.
As opposed to a tiny adult playing hockey. Sorry, I couldn't resist. He got knocked down after putting the puck in the net, but he was just beaming even as he went down to the ice.
Yeah.
He jumped up into the arms of Sam Steele. And then Duchesne and Dumba and Harley all just sort of piled on. And I mean, it was like a playoff winning goal the way they celebrated. It was very sweet.
Yeah.
I think as happy as he was, I think everybody else was even happier maybe. So I did love seeing that.
Yeah, that was a good goal. It was a happy time. I'm happy for him. Like him, I want him to succeed.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I have never felt like he wasn't trying. Every single game. Yeah. I feel like he's been trying so hard, and I feel like he's been doing the right things. And I feel like a lot of it's just been bad luck.
I totally agree. And his trying wasn't like over trying or like.
It wasn't like Duchesne last season when Duchesne like had his like stretch of not scoring and would just like try to get so fancy that like you were just like, get out of outer space, Matt Duchesne. Like, get back on the ice.
Yeah.
Like, he was just trying, like, good old-fashioned hockey trying.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, he just was doing all the right things.
Yeah.
It just wasn't going in.
Yeah, and having a goal drought like that, he was still noticeable and still important in all the games.
Still doing assists, and he never got, like, a bad attitude about it and wasn't, he just is so resilient.
He is.
He's great. He's fantastic. He did actually get credited with the second goal. That night too.
Okay.
Duchesne did a little spinorama and shot the puck towards the goal, and it went in, but it deflected in off of Stankoven's hip. So you know,
take it.
You know what? It's kind of funny after he had such bad puck luck for 25 games, and then this one he's just kind of standing there in front of the net, and it hits him and goes in, and he gets a goal credit. But he deserves it. He deserves some easy ones after all those struggles he had. His fellow rookie, Maverick Bourque, also got on the board, but Matt Duchesne easily had the best goal of the night. He got the pass, I think it's from Wyatt Johnston. He's kind of standing with his back to the goal. He gets the pass, he kind of turns around and then passes it like around to himself and through his legs into the goal.
He basically moonwalked with the puck and like was out there looking like Michael Jackson and somehow put it in the net.
It was insane. I've seen it from like 5 different angles and I can still barely comprehend it. Like,
those defenders were snoozing, though. To let him dance down there like that and put that puck in, man, that's embarrassing.
To be fair, the defenders kind of let Stankoven score that first goal, too, because he just had like a minute and a half to like chip that in.
Right.
But it's fine.
Yeah.
Thanks, Toronto. We really needed that one. Glad your defense didn't show up.
Yeah, Toronto, their energy, I don't get it. They're just a big mood, I feel like. There's like just so many like facets and dynamics to that team. It's weird for me.
I feel like they're really dominated by like the Gen Zers. Like the Gen Z energy has really taken over there.
Yeah.
And
you can't block Gen Z energy with an amulet.
You can't. No, it's stronger than Wi-Fi.
It is
stronger than 5G.
It is.
Gen Z energy is stronger than 5G energy.
Yeah, exactly.
This is my thesis. I did not go to school for science. No, they're just like, I don't know. So many of their core is just like youngish, cool guys.
Right.
And I don't know. Yeah, they've got a vibe. It's a weird vibe.
It is. Yeah.
It's a very weird vibe. I don't know. Well, moving on to Tuesday when the Stars faced the Montreal Canadiens.
Oh, this is a back-to-back, right?
This was not a back-to-back. This was Tuesday was the Leafs and I think it was Thursday. I wrote down Tuesday, but they definitely both didn't play on Tuesday.
Okay. That's why I was asking if it was a back-to-back because you said Tuesday.
Yep. No. Okay. Yeah. Nope. This is Thursday.
Okay. Thursday.
See, I make mistakes too sometimes.
Well, I'll cut this out for you.
No, you don't have to.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to.
All right. Well, Thursday, the Habs came to Dallas to play the Stars. So it was basically we came home from our road trip in order to play one game before going back out onto the road.
Yep, because of all the scheduling geniuses.
So many scheduling geniuses. And, we did end up beating the Habs last time when we went to see them in Montreal. We beat them in a shootout.
Yep.
And the Habs decided they wanted their revenge. So we did score first. There was a goal from Robo in the first period, but that was all we could muster for offense, and we went down 3-1. Part of the problem was that in the Toronto game, there wasn't like a big deal made out of it, but Austin Matthews kind of collided with Rope Hintz at some point, and Rope went down awkwardly and left the ice and never came back.
Yeah.
And we have not seen him since. R.I.P. Rope Hintz.
He went out.
Nice.
He's just getting milk. He'll be back.
Rope?
Rope?
Rope, come back. Come back, Rope. So, yeah, we didn't have him. So we have yet more baby stars. It's just we got a lot of AHL players right now.
Yeah.
A lot of baby AHL players. I love our rookies. We're maybe a little rookie heavy at the moment.
A little rookie heavy and missing the best one out of the bunch.
Yeah. And, on top of already missing Marchment and Sagan, that's not great.
No.
And then, yeah, out of all the rookies, the only one we don't have is Bischel because he's defense. And it's just like all of our forwards are dead. So we're only bringing up forwards. And
bring up Bischel. Put him up there.
Let Bischel play forward. I bet he'd do great.
He'd be fine.
He'd be great. Bischel can do anything.
He can do anything.
He can do anything. He's the best.
Yeah.
Bring back Bischel.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was a game that happened. I don't really need to talk about it that much, honestly.
It was kind of boring, yeah.
It wasn't the most exciting game I've ever been to. I didn't go to it. I watched it on TV.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been the most exciting game I ever went to either.
Yeah. I will say, I believe I said it probably this week, but the Stars are looking like they're kind of put together again and kind of looking good, in my general opinion. I do find them to be on kind of a similar wavelength as the Islanders for me, where I kind of just get lulled by their style of play, but I feel like they've been a little bit more structured and a little bit more consistent and able to, capitalize on things. So I finally started thinking that they're looking reasonably good.
Yes. But then everybody died. So.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's going to continue.
Well, we shall see. All right. Now we can talk about what I really have been waiting to talk about, which is the game yesterday, Stars playing the Avalanche in Denver, which is about an hour and 15 minutes from where we live. So I got to go there. Mm-hmm. And as I mentioned, you bought me a ticket for Christmas.
Yeah.
You did not buy yourself a ticket because we have a child who does not like hockey.
Right.
And you were a really cool dad and took her shopping at an outlet mall instead because you're the best. So everybody was happy, except, I don't know, maybe you?
I think I was fine.
I think you were fine.
Yeah, I guess I've come out okay.
You're pretty good with the flow. So it was a really exciting day. I made a sign for Wedgwood.
Yes.
I graphic design is my passion, as you know.
I do. You're constantly you in the graphic design.
I'm terrible at it. But I made a sign online and I had it printed out at Staples.
Yep.
And it has Wedgwood's face on it and says, "The Stars just aren't the same without you."
So true.
I've got pictures of it on our social media. Sadly, I was not able to get into a good position at warm-ups for him to be able to see it, but the Stars do play in Denver in March, so I'm going to go back and I will bring it and I will find a good spot.
Yeah.
So next time.
Yeah.
I'm coming for you, Wedgwood.
Yeah. So you actually got to do Wedge Watch IRL.
I did IRL Wedge Watch because he was there.
He was there.
He started.
Which we weren't sure of.
No, I was pretty sure going in that Blackwood was going to start, but the Stars, in their infinite wisdom, decided to start Nottinger.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that the Avs saw that and they were like, "Oh, well, let's get Wedgwood in there. He's been off for a while. Like, this is a great game for him to come back and warm up on."
Right.
Since they have Nottinger.
Since they have Nottinger, obviously they're not committed to this game.
Exactly.
Right.
So I guess before I get into the game, I'll kind of just get into the day.
Okay.
So we got there first. You dropped me off about an hour before the game started because that's when they let people into the arena.
Yep.
It was very cold, very snowy. They actually let people into the arena a little early, which was much appreciated.
Yeah.
I was wearing my green sequined Dallas Stars jacket. It's green. It has sequins. It has sequined stars all over it. It says Dallas Stars on the back. It is very not subtle in this light.
It's basically a high visibility green jacket.
Yeah, I was a little concerned that it might be like waving a flag in front of the bull.
Right.
Because, the division rivalry, just walking into the belly of the beast in my jacket. I actually had nothing but compliments on it from several Stars fans, but even an Avalanche fan and some arena staff complimented me. They were like, it's the wrong colors and the wrong team, but I love your jacket.
There we go.
Like, thanks.
Yep.
So style outweighs team loyalty every day of the week. And I think that's important to remember.
Yeah, absolutely. Aesthetics over team loyalty.
Absolutely. So got there, found my seat, which was really nice. I was behind the Stars bench, about 14 rows. So I was in a really good position to be able to see line changes throughout the game, which was really fun and exciting. I haven't really sat in that location before.
Right.
And like I said, I didn't get a great spot for warm-ups. I had a spot staked out, and then right before warm-up started, the seat holders came, so I had to move. So I ended up having to move elsewhere.
Those jerks in their $700, $800 tickets.
Those assholes. But I did get to still watch the warm-ups. I tried to get a little video, but it was a little tricky from where I was. So I ended up just putting my phone away and watching, because that's really what I like to do anyway.
I mean, go be in the experience. Don't go be on Instagram at the game. You know?
If I'm watching the game, I want to watch the game, and that includes the warm-ups. I always have fun doing that. It's great. I was standing kind of behind the goal line on the side where the Stars warm up. And so, they're practicing taking shots, and the pucks are hitting the glass, like right by me. And it's just
exciting.
Going thwack.
Yeah.
And you hear it shaking. And I got to see Wyatt and Harley do their little pregame tussle that they always do. They get in a little fight. Mm-hmm. And they were kind of passing a puck back and forth, but they weren't doing very well at it. Like, they kind of tried to bat it in the air back and forth, but one of them kept missing it. So that didn't last very long. And yeah, everyone was skating around, having a good time. Before the warm-ups, I did get to see from my seat. I could see into sort of a tunnel across the arena, and what looked like some of the Stars players were warming up pregame, like doing some kind of jumping squat exercises.
They were doing their calisthenics.
Yes. So I zoomed in the best I could and got a video, considering I was very far away.
Yep.
And it's pretty grainy, but I do have it posted on our Tumblr. And somebody described it as group frog time, which I love. It very much was group frog time. I can't really identify too many of the players, if any. I'm pretty sure Wyatt was in there.
I think Wyatt's one of them.
I'm pretty sure Wyatt's one of them. And that tends to be the general consensus. Maybe Stankoven as well.
Yep.
But it looked like maybe some of the baby Stars and a trainer.
Yeah.
Just doing some pregame group frog time.
Yeah.
So that was really fun and funny.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen anything like that before. I'd never gotten to really see the Stars behind the scenes at any games I've been to.
That was the Guppies, right?
The Guppies?
The Guppies.
No, the Tadpoles.
The Tadpoles.
The Tadpoles.
Sorry, it's Tadpole, then Guppy. Guppy?
Is Guppy part of the life cycle of the frog?
We got to start this podcast over.
It's too late now. We're committed. We've been doing this for like 45 minutes. We're in this.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. So anyway, that was all pretty fun. When the game started, I'm in my seat, and there's 3 empty seats to the left of me and 4 empty seats to the right to me, and I'm there in my sequin jacket. And I'm like, great, I'm going to really stand out as the Stars fan that nobody wants to sit by.
Right.
But then some people showed up, and to my left, there was a couple. Boyfriend was an Avalanche fan. Girlfriend was a Stars fan.
There we go.
So that was cool. So she and I got to hang out during the game. We're Instagram friends now. Shout out Courtney. And then we had another guy come and sit on my other side, whose name was Carson, who came sort of at the last minute, who is also a Stars fan. So we had our own little oasis of Stars fans there, which was really nice. And so we got to sort of, at least be together while the game happened, which was nice because we ended up needing support, I think.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
Emotional support. The first period started out pretty well. Duchesne had a power play goal.
I love that.
Yeah, especially because the Avalanche fans hate Duchesne so much.
Yeah.
They do not like him.
Nope.
They already didn't like him, and then I think him knocking them out of the playoffs last year really added fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
Because they were straight up booing him. And then when he scored, just like boo. Like, they were not happy about that.
Understandable.
Yeah, it's true. Unfortunately, Casey Middlestat then scored and tied it up. And then we got to hear the loud-ass goal horn, like this most obnoxious goal horn. It's so loud. As loud as it sounds on TV, it does not do justice to how loud it is IRL.
Yeah.
insane.
The next time I go to a hockey game, I am bringing earplugs. It's too loud for me. My ears are too sensitive.
My tinnitus is a little extra bad today.
Yeah,
honestly, it's a little ringy in here.
Yeah.
The second period was definitely a shit show.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for context, I don't know anything about this game.
Oh, you haven't even seen the highlights.
I haven't seen the highlights. I saw the Duchesne goal because that made the NHL clip shorts or whatever, but I just know the score.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a shit show.
Second was no good.
I mean, the some of the Avalanche players hit some milestones.
You love that.
Cale Makar scored his 100th goal. He's the fastest active defenseman to hit 100 goals.
All right.
And then Jonathan Drouin hit his 100th goal. And as somebody on Reddit said, he's the fastest active Jonathan Drouin to hit 100 goals.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah. So they did that. There were some other goals scored. And so we ended the second period down 4-1.
Oof.
Yeah, not super exciting.
4-1's a deficit.
That's a pretty hard deficit.
Yeah.
We did during the second period, I think it was. I can't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure it was the second period. Matej Blumel scored a goal, but then it got called back immediately for being offside, which it actually was. Like, I even knew that going in. I still stood up and celebrated because he deserved it, but I knew it was going to come back.
So you up in the stands knew it was offside. Linesman down there says, looks good to me.
Yeah, I mean, everybody where I was sitting, all the Avalanche fans behind me were yelling, it's offside. And I was like, yeah, it kind of was.
I don't know what these linesmen are doing out there.
I don't know.
It seems like they should do better at that.
It's like how even like LASIK tweeted about offering free corrective eye surgery to refs. It's that bad out there, guys.
Yeah, no, it's not looking
a literal joke.
It's not looking good for these guys.
Yeah.
And it's not, I can't even make the betting joke. Like, these are just bad calls. Like, they're just asleep at the wheel out there.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was the second period because that would have had us at 3-2, but it did not. It had us at 3-1 instead. And then immediately after somebody scored. So then it was at 4-1.
Yeah, they were deflated and then got scored on.
Exactly.
Oof. All right.
So we were still hanging in there, though. Courtney and I were like, hey, we're going into the third period. We're going to be on the power play. Maybe we can score, and that'll give us some momentum.
Right.
Spoiler alert, we did not score. And then Colorado scored. So then we were down 5-1. It was really starting to get dire at that point.
That's a real deficit. Not unconquerable.
Not unconquerable, for sure. Although at this point, it was about midway through the third period. So not looking great. I will say, though, Ball Arena serves double vodka lemonades that are very tasty.
There we go.
And I was about too deep in them at that time. So I really wasn't feeling that much pain.
There we go.
At this point, Courtney and I were kind of just talking about our favorite Stars players and who we liked the best. And I was giving a treatise on why Leon Bichel is the best person in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty fun. And then we almost missed Jason Robertson scoring.
Yep.
She missed it. I only kind of saw it because I saw the red light flashing behind the goal because they don't make any sort of sound whatsoever. So I stood up and started cheering and she's like, wait, did we score? What's happening?
It is tough to know if the other team scores sometimes, like when they're way down on the other side of the rink there and there's no fanfare.
No indication.
No. And you're like, they look happy. They're all congregate. Oh.
No. Yeah. It was a very anticlimactic one.
Yeah.
And then we went on the power play, and then Robo scored again 39 seconds later on the power play.
There we go.
It's 5-3, and we're like, oh, maybe we're still in it. But we were not, and the Avs scored again, and we lost 6-3, and that was the game. But I honestly still had a really great time. It does take the sting out a little bit that it was Wedgwood we lost against.
Yeah.
I love Scott Wedgwood.
Yep.
Sorry, not sorry about it. I don't love Nottinger, and he did have some acrobatic saves, but it made me realize that his rebound control is really bad.
Gotcha.
Because there were some saves he made where, like, at first I'd be like real excited, and then like 2 seconds later the puck would go in because he made this like acrobatic save and like knocked the puck out of the air, but then was just like sprawled out on the ice with no puck control.
Yeah.
And then it was very easy for somebody to just walk up and put the puck in the net.
That
happened at least 2 times.
Yeah, there do seem to be goalies kind of known for their rebound issues, right? I don't know if he is or not, but that's an interesting thing to maybe.
I'm not sure if he is. I haven't really paid that close attention to it, but where I was sitting, I could really see him very clearly, and that was just something that became very evident to me on at least 2 goals where I was like, Oh, there was not even an attempt at rebound control there. Like that was just straight up just, all right, I'm going to fling my body at it. And that's that. So, but the defense also just really didn't show up yesterday either, which was unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, on the way to pick you up, we saw the score with like 7 minutes left because we were kind of by the arena with 7 minutes left, which is a good thing because holy smokes, is it hard to pick up someone at Ball Arena.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's hard to be picked up, too.
It's hard. It's unbelievable. All the roads are closed. Anyway, but yeah, my daughter was like, oh, mom's going to be, or our daughter, not my daughter. our daughter's.
Listen, I participated, too.
You did. You had a big part in that.
A really big part in that.
She was like, mom's going to be mad that they lost. And I was like, I don't think she will. She'll probably be happy. Like she could have sat at home today and watched them lose, but she got to go like see them lose in person. So it's slightly better.
It's true. I can't complain about it too much. I'm really lucky that I've gotten to see them. This is my fourth time seeing them in person now. I've only seen them win once.
Right.
They've lost 3 times when I've seen them in person.
You're the jinx.
I mean, I'm not going to go that far.
Yeah.
Because when I saw them it was the game 6 last year. So
sure.
that was a real good win.
That was, yeah.
I will dine off of that win for the rest of my life. That
Absolutely.
One was amazing.
Yeah. You can point yourself out in the crowd on those clips of him putting it in.
I can indeed. I actually pulled up a screenshot I have to show Courtney and Carson. And I was like, last time I was here, that was me. So it was really cool. It was a great experience. I had a really nice time. Honestly, best time I've had at Ball Arena. Last time I was there, somebody did threaten to kick my ass for wearing a Ben jersey.
Right.
I did not take it seriously. And I had some drunken heckling the prior 2 times I've been there. But this last time it was great. Everyone was really nice. I guess the takeaway is wear sequins and not a Jamie Benn jersey, and everyone at the Ball Arena will treat you great.
Yeah. An afternoon game.
A matinee. Nice matinee. So it was great. I had a really good time. I am very lucky that you thought to buy me such a nice Christmas present and that you drove me there and picked me up so I didn't have to drive on snowy roads in the dark. You probably saved my life and the lives of hundreds of other people. Yeah.
Well, I'm really glad that you had a great time and happy to be a part of it and make it happen.
Yeah. So, but March, you and me, we're going.
Yeah, March. Well, yeah, I'll go.
We'll figure something out with the kid. She can go hang out with a friend or something.
Yeah, and we'll have to sit maybe a little further back then.
That is totally okay. I haven't had that experience yet.
And also when I buy these tickets, I'm not buying them through SeatGeek.
Oh, yeah, that was kind of a clusterfuck.
Yeah, my God. I mean, I didn't know that they were just reselling Ticketmaster tickets or whatever via SeatGeek. Anyway, it was a nightmare.
Unless you want to sponsor a SeatGeek, in which case we love you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I went with SeatGeek because of the hockey psychology discount. It was shortly after he posted that, like before Christmas. He's like, hey, you get, I don't know, $15 off or something. I was like, sweet. Well, I'm going to use that. Never again SeatGeek unless you sponsor us. But we're not on our way to being sponsored with this anytime soon.
Listen, we love all 17 of our listeners. But we have a long way to go, and we know that.
17, that's generous.
Listen, I'm an optimist. Well, I think that's all we have for this week. So I'm going to call that the end of regulation for this week's episode of Ice is Slippery. You can find us on Tumblr, Instagram, and I was going to say now TikTok, but not anymore, at Ice is Slippery Pod, where I occasionally post content whenever I happen to get around to it. You can also find us on Twitter at Slippery Ice Pod. If, like Fred, you avoid social media, you can email us at iceisslipperypod@gmail.com, where we would love to hear your spicy takes or get suggestions for future games. Until next week, stay out of the penalty box. Maxim Sipklov.
The Florida game, I was like, let's watch this. This is going to be fun. They're not going to be They're not going to. I don't even know what I was saying.
All right.
I do find them to be on a similar wavelength. Jesus Christ.
We should do some outtakes at the end of this
Holy
episode.
shit, this one's going to get outtakes, I guess.